There are a lot of factors that go into making a readable paper. You are not writing the great American novel here, but your paper does have to have some basic readability. We're going to examine some of the most common problems that contribute to poor readability. Now, pause the video and attempt to read this passage out loud. Over the next few slides, we're going to dissect it, so while you're trying to read it, take some note of things you notice are wrong. Are you back? So what are the actual issues that you should be looking for? Starting with the basics, everything needs to be spelled correctly. Misspelled words stall out the reader, making them have to stop to figure out what you're trying to say. When too many words are misspelled, it distracts the reader, leading them to just start looking for problems instead of trying to look at your meaning. There are several types of misspellings, and you have to watch for all of them. First are the easy ones. Word puts a red line under them, so you can clearly see where you're going wrong. In another case, the word is so wrong, the reader can't even figure out what you're trying to say. Harder to find are mistakes that are real words, just not correct in that place. In this example, we see of instead of off. The best way to find these is to read your work out loud. In another case, we see fowls. This is wrong in two ways. Fowl, F-O-W-L, with a W, means birds. It's already plural, so it doesn't need an S. Foul, F-O-U-L, singular, means something unpleasant. That would be more appropriate here. Word will note many of these instances with a blue line, the grammar mistake line, but it will not find all of them. One type of mistake easily found in the read aloud are left out words. Our brains often move faster than our fingers, and left out words are a very common mistake. Getting someone else to read your work is really helpful with this. Since we know what we mean to say, sometimes we read it that way, even if it is not exactly what is on the paper. Someone else will be confused by it, helping you improve the readability of your paper. One thing that Word will usually not find are incorrect tenses. You need to make sure to pick one tense and stick with it. In this, the paper jumps between past and present from sentence to sentence. Singulars and plurals matter also. They determine not only quantity, but also the format of the verb. If this diseases was plural, it would correctly be diseases are, but it's not. Second is a quality of only one thing, so it should be singular disease. Again, when they're inaccurate, the reader has to stop to figure out what you mean and if they miss something. Depending on the type of paper, your opinion may or may not be acceptable for inclusion. In either case, your opinion developed because of the materials you read. You must provide appropriate citations for it. If you don't have them, don't include it. In this case, consider how difficult it is to prove one kind is way worse than another kind. What source led you to believe that? Opinions need citations. Separate sentences with a period. Reading a run-on sentence is confusing, and like all other mistakes, the reader usually has to stop to figure out what's going on. Don't do this to your reader. The nature of this run-on sentence ultimately leads it to say that the fleas are jumping on the person biting them, the person biting the fleas. Do not start sentences with conjunctions like and or but. Conjunctions are connecting words and need a piece of information on each side. Now we're close to the end, but this is the hardest part. The last thing we're going to look at in this passage is accuracy. If you can't express your information clearly and accurately, it looks like you don't know what you're writing about, which ultimately means failing the assignment. No matter what the subject of your paper, your job will be to accurately relay information to the reader. You must transmit the facts. Writing 2 diseases instead of 3 variations of one disease demonstrates that the author did not even understand the most basic information about his topic. In an example of unrelated cause and effect, smells in and of themselves do not cause disease. The fluid stinks, yes, but it is the infected fluid that contains the bacterium. Contact with foul-smelling fluid could cause transmission. Depending on the variation, so could touching or ingesting the flesh, or even coughing. Another problem here is that a lack of hope caused failure. Whenever you're offering a cause, you need to show the evidence, including the citation. Make sure your cause and effects are related. Did doctors really fail because they have no hope? Wouldn't it be more likely that they failed because of a basic lack of understanding of what they were fighting? Make sure your work makes sense. The best way to find these kinds of mistakes is to read your paper out loud. It is also helpful to have someone else read it for you. There is a free version of Grammarly available. You should use it. And be sure to ask a librarian if you need any help.